Who's up next? Who disagrees? Yep.
Charlie, how you doing this afternoon? I am proud to be conservative. I'm proud to be an American, and I think we would agree on most things. But one thing that I'm here to dispute you on is
Israel?
Trump's executive order to overturn birthright citizenship.
Oh, okay.
Which you posted on X 2 months ago that the Supreme Court has never reviewed the 14th Amendment regarding birthright citizenship.
Not correctly, yeah.
Have you heard of Wong versus Kimhart?
Yeah,
or
it's
Wong
a
versus
BS.
America. What about
I'm drawing from a lot of memory on this,
Though.
so I'm going to have to plead a little bit of
That's fine.
memory erosion.
I have a shallow understanding. But both of those cases ruled that regardless of national origin, the children of immigrants will become U.S. citizens.
It's not just the children of immigrants. It's not just that.
The exception for diplomats.
The children of visitors become U.S. citizens.
Right, and
so for example, a pregnant woman can leave China who's 8 months pregnant, get a 90-day visitor visa, and then her baby becomes a U.S. citizen.
How is it being implemented now? If you come here illegally, your children are what? What are they?
They become U.S. citizens.
And that's the Supreme Court precedent. So the executive order to overturn it is illegal.
No, it's very much illegal. It's challenging the prior Supreme Court decision. But let's go back to my example. You can fly to China and literally just come here as a visitor, show up at a hospital, and they will give you a U.S. passport, and your kid becomes a U.S. citizen. You understand we are one of the only countries in the industrialized world that has birthright citizenship.
And I am proud to be that. We are a country of immigrants. See,
we're not. No. We're a country of settlers, not of immigrants.
Okay.
That's a big distinction. Let me tell you the difference. Settlers are people that build a new country that was barren. Immigrants come to a country already built. The people who built this country, they went west to an unconquered, barren country and built a new society. Immigrants helped enrich it. They helped grow it upon that. But the foundation of America were settlers, not immigrants. That is a talking point that is overused.
We have no unifying religion, no unifying race, no unifying national origin. But what we do share is that if you were born on the soil, you have an inherent birthright to the benefits of American citizenship. And
that's a huge mistake.
And that's a huge mistake. So you disagree with 200 years of precedent.
Yes.
Have you read what was discussed during the passage of the 14th
Founding Fathers, first
Amendment?
and foremost, never wanted all of a sudden a pregnant woman to be able to get on. They didn't have airplanes back then. Go across the ocean, and all of a sudden they become a U.S. citizen.
Those who drafted the 14th Amendment did.
Yeah, the 14th Amendment was in what year?
1866.
Yeah, exactly. Way past the founding era.
So you don't agree with
the 14th Amendment was largely applicable to free slaves.
I understand that was a purpose, but it has also been extended to those who come illegally.
No, you're right. It has been wrongly extended. You know the 14th Amendment?
By the Supreme Court.
Exactly, and they got it wrong. Just like how they got Roe versus Wade wrong, and we got that repealed. The point being is the Supreme Court can get things wrong. The idea, it's very simple. It's that if you think you can just get on a Delta Airlines flight from Paris and all of a sudden your kid becomes a U.S. citizen, that devalues the meaning of what it is to be a citizen.
Should we hold the children who do not choose to come here accountable for their parents' actions? There are some countries that...
Well, if you're already a citizen, you're a citizen. We're not going to revoke what's already happened.
If it becomes overturned, do we want to create second-class citizens who aren't a citizen of another country?
Yes, they're citizens of another country. Go back to your own country.
Except if they come from India, they come here and a child is born. That child is not a citizen of India, nor would they be a citizen of here. Then you have
No, they are a citizen of India. That's not true.
They're not.
Yes, they are. The parents are Indian citizens, and that's how it works in India. Is that the citizenship goes to the parents. So that's the point. Is that they can go back to their own country, and they can go live in India.
So the children should be deported as soon as they're born here.
Yes, with their parents, absolutely.
You don't think that we should give them? We shouldn't encourage them to become productive members of American society?
No.
Do you believe in the American dream?
Yes, of course, for American citizens, not for every person around the planet.
I agree. I think we all agree.
Yes, it's not our job to open up our borders to every sad story around the planet.
Exactly, the adults, but the children did not choose to cross the border. They did not choose to come here.
Okay.
They have been placed here.
Exactly. So don't punish them by separating the mom and dad. They can all go back to their country of origin. It's very simple.
But that's not the law. That's not how it's been. Do you think that would be productive for American society?
Hold on. That's the interpretation of the 14th Amendment. We're talking about two different things. We're talking about birthright citizenship, and then we're talking about kids that are crossed when they're already born. The point being is this, and President Trump's executive order is phenomenal. It goes back to this very basic question. What does it mean to be a citizen? And we're throwing around citizenship like Frisbees every day. You're a citizen, you're a citizen, you're a citizen. And it dilutes the meaning of the citizen, of what it means to be a U.S. citizen. We need to bring it back to actually say, hey, you have to earn your citizenship. You are not given your citizenship.
So the children who... A child doesn't choose to be born between someone who comes here illegally and someone who is already a citizen. That person did not choose that. There's no accountability.
Yes, and there's
in that
kids
action.
in Namibia that didn't, choose to be born in Namibia.
Exactly.
It's not our
that's
concern
the
to
great
import
thing
them.
about America is that by being here, you offer them the extension for the opportunity.
See, I disagree. I think that I think on the surface it's a great thing about America. I think it's us having generosity being turned into compromising our values used against us. At time, generosity can turn into an overindulgence. You could become too generous, where you are borrowing money that you don't have. We're doing that. Where you're giving citizenship where it dilutes. Yes, we are a generous nation, and our virtues have become our vices.
What does it dilute? What does a child being born here having birthright?
You know what? You know what it
What
dilutes?
does that take away from us?
It first of all,
they pay taxes.
First of all, number one, it dilutes a lot.
What does it dilute?
Can I get to it? Dilutes a lot. Number one, it dilutes legal immigrants that are full adults that had to apply to come
And
here.
I agree. So we should stop illegal immigration.
Well,
but
no,
there will
legal.
always be
I said
some.
legal immigration.
I agree.
Right. Number two is that I actually want the idea of being a U.S. citizen, that you are here or born here because your parents did something to allow you to be here. Not just that you got on a nonstop flight from Seoul, South Korea, and you happen to fall and your water breaks and you're suddenly a U.S. citizen. It devalues the entire meaning of what it means. Everybody here has a unique story of what your parents did for allow you to live in this country. That's called a social compact. Some of you guys, your parents came here, and your ancestors came here in the 1700s. Some of them came here in the early 1900s. But if all of a sudden you can gain entry and cut in line, it dilutes the sacrifices primarily of the greatest generation from World War II that allowed us to live here, and it is an insult to them to say that we can live in a free society. I want to get to the next question. Thank you very much.
I think I remember back then in Nigeria, when you have money and your wife is pregnant, they just send them to US so that they will become, the children can become citizens of US. I know back then parents were looking for the well-being of their children. You understand? They wanted a society that works, so that when your child is born into such society, you create a better future for the child, or maybe your children. So I think US stopping this right now is a good call, you understand? Because so many people are trying to get into the United States, legal way. Some of them have to wait for months before being granted interview, you understand? And you just cut through the corner simply because you have money. I know that is the power of money, but I think what is worth doing is worth doing right. So if you want to get into the country and be a citizen, you have to earn that citizenship. You have to make sure you are contributing positively into the country. You don't just enjoy yourself, then run to the country, give birth, and voila, you are a citizen. To me, I feel it's a shorter route. You understand? But it's better not to deprive people that have been waiting for months, to get this opportunity. Aside from that, I think I get where the boy is coming from. The way he sounds like someone that he benefited from such privilege, and he feels like stopping this is not going to be fair. But the United States are not doing anything wrong to those children. You understand? What they are doing is to make whoever will become a citizen of the United States earn that position. You understand? It shouldn't just be because you were born there, you have direct citizenship. In Ghana, I'm always using Ghana because I'm based in Ghana. Before you can be a citizen of Ghana, your parents have to be a citizen. If you come to Ghana and you give birth in Ghana, your child is not a citizen of Ghana, especially when both parents are not from Ghana. You understand? So if one party is from Ghana, then your child is a citizen of Ghana. And I think that is how it's supposed to work. You don't just cut through the corner simply because you feel like okay. Well, I've said that before. This is beautiful. I love the debate, even if it's kind of selfish. You understand? Because okay, I love the debate, and I love how Charlie is going about it. I love the fact that Donald Trump actually enforced this law to prevent people from coming to the country. I wish, if I'm to be sentimental about this, I wish the law will continue, because it's a direct route to become citizen. The country feel like that is not the right way to go about it. Then I stand with the country, because at the end of the day, it's their country and it's their decision. Whatever decision they choose to take should stand. So if they feel like that is not how they want people to become citizens, let's stand and support them, because it's their country, it's their rule, it's their choice. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. If it's the first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remember bless.